Morning. Gorgeous out here right now. Sun's coming up. Beautiful orange sunrise. We used to say orange sky at night, sailor's delight. Orange sky in the morning, sailor's warning. Not so much out here, I don't think. That was one living on the coast. Beautiful, beautiful day. Gorgeous setting. Got some logs to do. We got some ponderosa pine here. Oh, there's a dozen logs or so. We're gonna mill all those into 1x4s. That's a lot of 1x4s. Gonna have some blue stain in. You see the blue stain here. A little bit in those. Just getting set up this morning and thought I would say good morning and show you around a little bit. There's the mill. Pretty dusty. Road was really dusty coming in here, so I'm gonna have to clean it off and then lube it up. But gorgeous sight. Yeah, it's gonna be good, I think, today. Here's the camper set up. My batteries died in the camper again. Gosh, you know, I made a mistake one day, and I was heading to a job, and I had the fridge set on auto, so it'll switch between DC, propane, and AC power. And I was driving in really windy weather, and when that happens, it can blow the pilot light out on the fridge. And of course, since I'm not running the generator and have no AC power, it switches over to DC. And over the course of about a 3-hour drive, I didn't know that it was running on DC. And those fridges, you only really want to use DC briefly. Unfortunately, it was running on DC the whole time, and it drained my batteries down. When that happens, you know, if you kill your batteries, you cut the battery life in half, and they were already 4 years old, so they're now just about dead. Camper life. But I've got a pretty dirty mill, so I've got to get this guy cleaned up and ready to mill today, and we'll get those milled up, and I'll bring that to you. So I'm gonna get cracking and get this mill set up, and then we're gonna get milling today. All right, well, let's do the safety brief so we can get going. I'm just going to kind of go through the sawmill a little bit, and then how the operation runs, so that you understand what's going on. So some of this is going to be real obvious. Obviously, you don't want to be in front of the mill or to either side. This side's pretty safe. The other side, if a bam breaks, it's going to come out the other side. There are some teeth that'll catch it, and usually they don't go very far, but you just don't want to be over there and get speared. So that's kind of the main thing, staying away from the front of the mill head or either side. This is my debarker. I will use it on logs that have got a lot of bark. And it's got some big cutting teeth. When it's spinning, it's shooting it all at me. So don't stand right by me. That's kind of the motto, unless you got safety glasses on. But you might get hit. I've actually had my camera hit sitting on the hydraulic box back there. Literally, a piece of bark went flying out and smacked the camera.
I better go get my safety glasses.
Yes, makes good video. But so anyway, we stay away from the front, the sides of the mill. And when you hear the band shut down, that's kind of a signal that you're going to have time. If you haven't been pulling lumber, you hear the band shut down and pulling the head back, that's a cue to go ahead and pull off whatever you can while I'm readjusting my side supports or whatever. Then once I get going again, you can pull when I'm milling, but a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just say, just hold off, and I'll just take a few passes or more, and that way you can grab 3, 4, 5 at a time instead of just trying to do one board at a time.
Bring my tractor in over here with the forks.
All right, folks, here we go. All right, after all that, we realized the customer really didn't have a great place to put the lumber that I was about to make. And he had some logs that he was planning on just bucking up into firewood. They were kind of bent, ugly looking logs and not very big. And he thought, he would just use them for firewood. And I told him, I said, well, if you could use some 6x6s, we could rip out 3 or 4 6x6s really quickly. I'll just knock them down fast. I'm not going to worry about trying to get every last ounce of lumber out of each log because you were going to burn them in a fire pit or something anyway. So what if we just toss them up on the mill, get them set up, and then bang, 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 I'll make 4 cuts. We'll do like 5 minutes a log, and I'll make 3 or 4 6x6s. You can set those down over in a spot that's convenient for you. And then as we pull the 1x6s and whatever else we make off the mill, you can then just take those and haul them over, drop them right on top of those 6x6s. Now, you don't want to leave them there very long. You could do it for short periods of time, but you're going to get blue stain if you leave them there very long. You've got you've got that perfect environment where you've got wet pine on top of wet pine, and that's the kind of thing that's going to cause you to have blue stain. Blue stain is actually a fungus, a mold that is on the pincers of the pine bark beetle, and it's a little symbiotic relationship. The bark beetle has this mold, this fungus on its cutting teeth, and when it gets into the log and it tries to get into the bark, normally a living tree will then flood the sap out the hole to protect itself, and that's going to stop the beetle from being able to bore in. But that fungus on the pincers, whatever, of that beetle gets into the log, it starts to degrade its defenses, it knocks them down. That mold is that kind of blue color that you see in the wood, and once that cuts down the defenses of the log, hey, then the boring beetle can get in there and lay some eggs and do whatever it's going to do. So that's what that is. It's basically mold, and when you put fresh pine, sappy pine, right on top of itself, board after board or those 6x, you're going to get that blue stain. That's one of the reasons you do not use fresh cut pine for stickers. You don't want to stack and sticker pine boards that you're going to see, that you want to have nice aesthetics, for you're making naughty pine paneling or something. If you don't want blue stripes across your wood, don't use fresh pine. I personally don't use any pine as a sticker. Now, maybe somebody out there has used dried pine for a sticker and they haven't had that happen. I'd like to know. Put it down in the comments to let me know. But in general, I just stay away from pine stickers, period. If I got some nice dry fir or something, I would use that. I've actually used OSB, plywood. I've used all kinds of things. Sometimes you get desperate and you don't have any. I've been fortunate because I've been able to get stickers from sawmills. A lot of times sawmills buy stickers by the pallet load, and when they break or they get bent or something like that, they just throw them away. They burn them in a burn pile or whatever. And so if you're a small-time sawyer like this, especially if you need stuff at home, or you're going to have a sawmill come out to you, one of the things you could do is you could always check with the local sawmills, and you might actually be able to get stickers that way. So in this case, something to pay attention to maybe is that, if you've got some ugly logs that you don't want to mill up into anything useful, but you need something to place all of that newly freshly milled lumber on, you can just rip out some 6x6s in a hurry by doing it this way. And as you can see, I am knocking these guys down fast and furious. So, that's the way it is. This particular job site was absolutely beautiful, Bobcat Trail Road, way up near the Columbia River, kind of, in the Creston, Lincoln City, Davenport area, way up near the river up there. beautiful country, lots of wild animals. You know, everybody seemed like they had at least 20 acres. So it was very quiet, very beautiful environment. And this couple here, great folks. They actually watched my YouTube quite a bit. So thank you both. And it was really fun to work with them. And I can't wait to see how their barndominium turns out, which is what they're going to use all this 1x4 stuff that you're going to see me mill. So stick around for the next one, folks. Lots more coming. There's going to be lots of 1x4s, tons of 1x4s, and then we're going to get into some bigger stuff. So hang in there. More to come. Look for the next one to drop on Tuesday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Y'all have a great night. The old Jarhead out.